The approach was just about documenting people as purely as I could. The portrait is being made by the person. The camera is just there to record it.
My name is Eddie Stern. I'm a yoga instructor. Stretch the arm. If I see a place where yoga would be helpful and someone invites me to do something, I say yes. That's all there is to it.
I'm Michael Halsband. I'm a photographer and filmmaker. I live in New York City in a neighborhood between Herald Square and the Flatiron District. Okay, 45.2, 45, I want 45.3, that's fine. I'm mostly a portrait photographer. Initially, I was interested in photographing musicians and artists. Andy Warhol, Jean-Michel Basquiat, Eric Fischel, Jim Rosenquist, the Rolling Stones, AC/DC, INXS, Peter Tosh, David Bowie. Wait, who else? It doesn't matter, there's so many. Working with celebrities at first was from a position of admiration, you know, of awe. Trying to live up to the lifestyle of what people think happens on a rock and roll tour. And I think I sort of realized that it wasn't necessarily the healthiest world to be involved in. It just all of a sudden didn't seem very important anymore, or it didn't seem as big and fulfilling to me. I met Chris Martin, the singer of Coldplay, out in the water, out and surfing. He's like, yeah, yoga really helps my surfing. I mean, it's just made me stronger. And I was thinking, man, I'm just getting worse, getting sluggish. You know? So I said, well, what about this yoga? Where can I go? And he said, well, let me see if I can hook you up with that. We might get a picture out of this, you never know.
Yeah, it's a camera.
And so he made the call to Eddie Stern and he said, okay, it's all set up.
You know, the way that the yoga teaching works at my school is it's all almost practically in silence. There's very little talking and very little anything. And I don't really get a sense of, you know, how they change internally, because most of the change within yoga is internal. And so with Michael, I really didn't know him at all when he started, when he first came. I don't look at the students that way. They just come and I'm happy they're there and I teach them what I can, and then they get something or don't get something, and either they come back or they don't, and that's pretty much it.
When I practice, there's a lot going on in my mind that I'm trying to let drop away. But then at a certain point, I catch myself completely empty of anything, and I'm just doing it. I think right away from the beginning, I went through a lot of changes.
Yoga will help a person become more focused, more in touch with what is important in their life. If you become aware of those things which you naturally do just by becoming quiet and spending some time with your breath and your body, then automatically you become concentrated, automatically you become able to be more efficient in the way that you live your life.
It seemed like just the right time for me to start to question what I wanted to do with myself. All I knew then was maybe I should just stop, and because that just seems like the right thing to do. And stopping is a very scary thing, you know, with an entire familiar lifestyle and work that all of a sudden I was just stopping. It was like, well, now what do I do? And I thought, well, I'm gonna work with this 8x10 camera, because from my art school all the way to that moment, the thing that I always really liked the most, that really resonated with me deeply, was working with this camera. It's kind of the purest form of a photographic machine. It really just has a lens on one end and a place to put the film on the other, and in between, all the controls. And then the approach was just about documenting people as purely as I could, without any pretense, without any posturing, without any expression, just who they were as they were. The portrait is being made by the person. The camera is just there to record it. That was it. When I got to this 8x10 portrait work that I'm doing now, I realized this is in line with my yoga practice. It's all up to me to be very honest about it with myself. Since I've been practicing almost 7 years, a lot of people have said that they've noticed a big change in me. Right there, just settle in. This is beautiful. It has this day-to-day effect, this in-the-moment effect, and then it has this cumulative effect, this overall effect. And then you look back and great things are happening. And sometimes you see it in the moment, but it's a cumulative thing. It's a really powerful cumulative thing. I got you.
I know, right? After how many years?
For the past 7 years, I've been teaching yoga and meditation to at-risk populations. And we forget how young they are. These are kids that are 13, 14, 15 years old. They're children.
Before I started practicing yoga, my mind was in nothing but negative thoughts.